Hello everyone, how you doing? And welcome back to Skye and Evan in the morning. And today we're gonna be talking about Nope, the third film in Jordan Peele's filmography. Film that I haven't liked since I first watched it, and Evan actually does like. So yeah. Well, to start off with,
Well,
Evan, I just have a question to make. What do you think is good about this movie? And I know that sounds mean, but I'm trying to understand why you like it because I really don't see it.
I I think it's a great creature feature is the thing. Like it reminded me a lot of like the reasons why I liked Godzilla minus one, where it's basically just a movie about a big animal that's just like eating people and destroying a town. And it, it's like the ragtag heroes just taking it down. Like it's got blockbuster energy. Even though it's like rated R and it's like definitely more on the horror side. It came out in July and it feels like, Jaws-esque. Like that's what was one of the films that inspired it. There's a lot of movies that inspired this movie, but
Yeah.
I I think it's got good blockbuster energy and a premise that's reasonable enough to buy. Just giant monster that looks like a UFO, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that all of those are elements of the movie. I just it doesn't vibe with me like on that sense, I guess. I definitely feel the Jaws sense of like that inspiring this movie. You can feel that. But I don't know, I just think it's such a messy movie. For one, I think it's way longer than it needs to be. It's like 2 hours and 10 minutes, I think. I
Yeah,
feel like this
it's
movie could have been 80 minutes long easily.
I think I like that was something about for one, all of his movies are getting longer. Like,
Yeah.
it happens with a lot of filmmakers. You start relatively small and then your films get longer as you go. But all of his movies have been like maybe on the longer end of the equation, given the premises. I mean, us, we talked about that was like kind of straining for material or like
Yeah.
didn't have much of a story, had it like more of a short film. Which you were alluding to that you like think this is almost like two episodes of the Twilight Zone that
Yeah.
don't go well together.
Yeah, I feel like this is like two short films put together and they loosely connect. Because there's the Jupe stuff. And honestly, I will say outright, the Jupe story in this movie is really good. If that was the entire if that was like an entire short film just about Jupe and him trying to tame a fucking alien and all the flashbacks with Gordy and everything, I think that could have worked really well. I think that entire through line
Yeah.
of like it just works.
Steven Yeun, really good as well.
Yeah.
Really good performance. And like he sells that just like really traumatized, just crazed, like just stuck with that like one event. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't help but like let something like that affect you like long term, but he's
Yeah.
like he just has this
Well,
whole room dedicated to
yeah,
that
well, the
show.
thing
It's like,
that
what the fuck?
they make with him that is great is that he's like traumatized because he's exploring his own trauma for money and spectacle, and like yeah, like that's a good commentary on the way people try to create spectacles out of everything, every traumatic event in the world. It's like yeah, that works really well. Like genuinely, I thought the Jupe story was really good on this watch. I just outright was like hell yeah.
But
um
all the jean jacket stuff doesn't work. That's like the
I
stumbling
just
block.
find it way less interesting and like a lot less focused because like we get like they first see the alien, right, and it's like oh okay, so let's get the Oprah shot. And then there's a bunch of times where like they get completely, and I get the point that the movie's making, like where like it's super dangerous, but they're like no, but we still need to get the Oprah shot, we need the money, and like obviously the way capitalism forces
No,
people to
get
put themselves in danger for exploiting their own trauma and everything. I
well
understand
in
the point.
filmmaking in general. Like they're like Babylon had a scene like that of like getting the shot and like
Yeah.
it being so close, and it's like, oh my god, it's it's definitely like a macro theme or a macro
Yeah.
point of the
I mean, yeah,
story.
they have
So
the cinematographer kill himself to get the perfect shot because the light was hitting just right. That was so stupid. I get the point that the
it's
movie's making, but I cannot. I that does not. I don't like that.
I will agree. I think that's a bit much. And honestly, ever since I've watched this in theaters, I've always said I think the premise is a bit hard to buy just in the fact that it's so easy to fake this type of shit nowadays. Like,
Yeah,
I think if this had taken place in like the 60s,
it would have made
you
more
might have it
sense.
might have been yeah, like getting it on film or getting like a picture of it. Because again, you could have done the same thing with like the way that Jean Jacket flies, like disrupting electricity. But I they're like, we're gonna get the shot that's gonna prove that aliens exist. I'm like, I really think you could like actually capture a UFO nowadays, and a lot of people would believe it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so easy to fake. But I don't know.
I mean, there are ways where
The
like
characters
courts
believe it.
can like obviously try to prove that the video isn't doctored or anything like that. There are ways to prove it. So, maybe, if
Yeah,
they got actual proof. I don't know. It's weird. And then, well, okay.
like I was saying, the characters at least believe it,
Yeah, the
and
characters
they're
believing it makes enough sense, yeah. The Oprah shot. They keep saying that. It's so weird how like it's weird because they keep like thinking about the fucking Oprah shot. Like even after M thinks her brother died, and she's still like, I'm taking you
yeah,
to Oprah.
she's
I'm taking
still
you to
going for the
Oprah.
camera.
Yeah, the camera
It's
in the well. Which, by the way, like I think the movie knows this, right? That shot wouldn't actually prove anything. It just looks like a bug in front of a camera, right?
Yeah, it's all like up in the sky, and like it looks way shittier than like it. You could have just had the film saved at the end, and like the
Yeah, the
cinematographer
roll of
like
film.
goes for
Yeah.
like a different set of film. Like I don't know.
Yeah, but maybe it's
It's
just like the point is that she believes in it rather than, it actually proving. Because I thought when everyone arrived, the cameras and everything at the end, the reporters and everything, I was like, oh, the point is that after all of this, after literally the cinematographer dying and the TMZ guy dying, that it was still for naught, like these reporters arrived and they are gonna get the first shot instead of you. I thought that was kind of gonna be the point, but she smiles at the end, so I don't know. Well, she smiles obviously because of she's seen um OJ on the
the
horse.
brother. Yeah.
Yeah, but the point of OJ on the horse is the like, oh yeah, he like how their ancestors got the great like first film ever, the jockey and everything. That they also got like the first shot of an alien. I thought that was kind of like the thematically. I was thematically tying it in together,
Yeah,
but that felt
that's
weird to me
supposed to
because
be why
like,
they.
well, yeah, but that's weird to me because it's like now the cameras arrived and reporters arrived, so now like how can they sell any of this or even like the fucking well
Well,
photo? It's weird.
not to not to mention its body. You'd think would be able to be recovered. Like
Yeah.
I doubt that thing like dissolves like powdered sugar. Like surely it'd
Oh yeah,
like
there's
splash up on one of the mountains, and then it's like I
yeah,
the proof's right there. And then
exactly.
there's a couple of things like that with the ending where you think things might not work out all that well, like after the actual movie is over. That was another thing that I laughed at is they have this really elaborate plan to like get Jean Jacket on film, but they don't come up with like a plan to defeat it. You'd think there'd be like some sort of trap they lay out because they use the whole like giant inflatable man to like explode it, but that
Well,
wasn't like part of their plan
I
seemingly. They
think
just
they
like
were
make
just
that up
like,
in the third act.
yeah, I guess
Like,
they were
oh,
just like, yeah, let's call it, to come close and we'll get the shot. And then when OJ hides under like the whatever that like wood shack or whatever, then they got the shot and then it's gonna fly away once it gets the thing stuck in its windpipe. And then that's it. But then the guy is like, "Oh yes, the perfect shot and the light," and then the jean jacket just comes back for like no reason. So I don't know.
yeah,
Like
it's
I
like
think the
after
plan
that.
went well, but then after he was like, "Oh yeah, the perfect shot," and then the thing just comes and attacks him, and then it's angry, um, which
Well, I mean, it's
again,
still out there is the thing. It's like what do you like call in the Air Force? I
oh yeah,
guess, but
after
it's
you
like
like
it
send this
disrupts
proof or
electricity.
whatever, like you're gonna call in the military or something. I don't know.
Maybe like you still could have like tried something. Like I don't know.
I mean,
I
yeah, I
find
don't
it
know.
weird that they don't think of a way to kill it at the end, but it's like,
Well,
fine.
then she just well, it could have been interesting if they actually had thought of that, like from the get go, to use the fucking inflatable jupe to kill it from the start. But she just comes up with that on the spot, doing the Akira slide because why not?
It's so blatant and really funny. I do love the inflatable men, like them using that to detect where Jean Jacket is,
Yeah,
and
I thought
like
that was
it's
pretty
it struck me
smart.
like
Just
it's
like you have
so
a
neat.
bunch of
Like
them
I
around, and which when they turn off, it means that their jean jacket is closed. I was like, yeah, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, they're pretty clever with what they do towards the third act. Like the cinematographer just like offing himself
Yeah, he
basically
just
just for the money
decides like,
shot is like,
nah, let's die. Like, oh, it's so stupid.
yeah.
It's so
Every,
stupid. I hate it. I hate him killing
that's
himself.
basically what it is. Like, let's die. And everyone who didn't say let's die lives, which is great,
Yeah,
including Angel with the barbed wire. But
yeah.
I don't know. Like, just it's not a vibe. The jean jacket stuff. Like, what about it? I'm still lost on like what is it just not as interesting as the stuff with Steven Yeun and like
Well, it's
the
less
ape and
interesting,
all
and I
that?
think it's less thought out. Well, for one, I've mentioned it to you, but I don't like how stoic OJ is. He barely reacts to anything in
Yeah.
the movie, and I kind of get the point because it means that when he does react, it's supposed to be more meaningful. But like, he literally falls asleep when
Well,
the G jacket is right above him, and that moment really baffles me to this day. I don't understand. He falls asleep.
well, I mean, you stayed up all night. I'd imagine. Like they imply that they just kind of waited it out and like until it was like 4:30 a.m. and the sun was like just barely coming up. But yeah, and I will say, like, I guess some of it is meant to be implied that like he's in grieving because his dad died. I don't know like how long ago that is in the movie, but
I think
like
they say 6 months.
yeah, yeah, it's enough to, be like grumpy grieving, I guess. But like, yeah, at a point when Jean Jacket shows up, it is funny how stoic he typically remains in this movie. He's fairly chill to everything.
Yeah, and I really like Daniel Kaluuya, but I just could have made him like a bit more of like a character. What do you know about OJ? Like for real as a character? Because like I think she's a pretty clear, fleshed out character, but
Yeah,
OJ,
she's got a lot more personality
yeah,
than OJ does.
OJ's
Yeah,
very
OJ
nothing. I don't know.
he like cares about the horses. Like he's got like
Yeah,
sentimentality towards the horses because of his dad. So he's like he wants to get them back. When like Stephen Young's characters like fed them to Jean Jacket, so he's got that. But like yeah, beyond that, not much. Like he's the horse guy, and
yeah,
he likes supporting his sister. But the whole idea for the Oprah shot is kind of her brainchild. So it seems like
yeah.
she has more agency, and she's the one who defeats Jean Jacket at the
Yeah.
end. So
Well, yeah,
it's
she is a much well, and that's also what's interesting about the movie is that until the last like 40, 50 minutes, the characters really are not involved with the plot at all. They're just passively like watching Jean Jacket fly around, trying to get shots, not really being able to. And then in the final 40 minutes, they're like, okay, let's get this shot now. After it's killed Stephen Yeun and everyone else, Jupe and the people at his
well,
ranch.
I think the thing is they didn't figure out exactly what it was. Like they were, which I actually liked that on rewatch. All the clues, like the nickel coming out of the sky and everything pelting down. You like realize that later on. It's like everything that it can't
It
eat, and
digests, it just
there's
burps
all
out, yeah.
yeah, there's all these little clues and hints that you get as the characters are like figuring out why the horses are spooked and all that, and why the cloud doesn't move. And like, I think they get the cameras to observe, and then as after that happens, after all the people at the fair or whatever get eaten, then they realize that's like they delay, and that's the like question: what if it's not a ship?
Yeah.
Which I love that, by the way, as a twist. And it's like it's not a UFO. It's just like an alien that's
Alien
like
being,
shaped like a UFO. It's just
yeah.
a giant monster. Like it's a funny execution, it's a funny idea, and
Yeah, I like that
yeah.
idea
So
in itself. Well, yeah,
so
but
that's the
like,
thing. They don't
okay, I
really.
get the point. I get. they're trying to figure it out slowly. But that's what I mean. The movie's too slow. They take so long to figure it all out, and
Yeah.
we still have the entire subplot with Jupe while all that's happening. And then after that is when they finally figure out what it is and what it wants. And it's weird. They try to do the thing of like, oh, you don't tame a beast. You negotiate with it. But they try to like tame it. Basically, it's weird. Like they did the same thing Jupe did. Like I don't know what's different
Yeah.
from what they did to what Jupe did. They also tried to control it for their own like spectacle. I guess that was kind of the
I mean,
point. I don't know.
well, yeah, I mean, it opens on that Bible verse from Nahum that's like meant to be like there's the message of the movie, if you will, is definitely meant to be something about spectacle and looking up to creating things that are cool and like sometimes playing with like fire,
Uh-huh.
just the classic Jurassic Park, like playing God thing.
Yeah.
But it's a little drawn out and doesn't necessarily connect. And like you were saying, the contrast between Jupe and the main characters, and also their just morality of this whole thing. They really are kind of out for fame and
Yeah.
fortune. They're not like
Well,
Angel is the one who cares about other like innocent people getting saved, but like
but
not
even
them. They're
then,
like, ah,
Angel still feels a little bit apathetic. Like when the TMZ guy is, on his bike, and
yeah,
it's like, "Hey, pop
we're all
quiz!
going to
What
jail.
happens when a bike going 60 miles an hour goes against an anti-electric field?" It's like, okay,
Oh my
and I
god,
was
it's
like,
just a
okay,
little like
that
I did.
it's what I
I
say.
felt that
Like
was one of
this.
those like, what else are we gonna do kind of a thing. It's like nothing to do but watch. It's
Well,
like,
yeah, but then you
oh,
don't say, "Hey, pop
fuck.
quiz." You just like, "Oh my god, he's gonna crash his bike once he gets close to the electric field." Oh no, that's what a person who cares about human beings would say, but he doesn't. It's
Yeah,
weird. It's weird.
s- seems hilariously cold, but yeah,
Yeah, it's
I don't.
yeah. The movie feels very apathetic to all the people that are dying, and it's fine considering the movie's like
It
try to go for a bit of a comedic twist on that, just like going for the money shot and everything. But I don't
yeah,
know.
no, I do think it's probably wise to not try to like. I mean, I think the scene where all the people from the carnival are like in the actual
Oh
like
yeah, that
jean
was really
jacket
good.
like digestive track, like that is pretty eerie, but I'm like, you
Yeah,
could have made that even more grotesque. I'm glad like they left more of it like to the imagination and just on the sound design.
yeah, I agree with that. I really like that scene. It feels very eerie, very scary. Um, I don't know. Weird movie. It's like it's not like awful. It's much better than Us, but it's like there's so little of it that I find like worthwhile. You know what I mean? It's just so much like yeah, it's a very generic, very like oh, hey, we don't like spectacle, and then they make a spectacle movie, and it's like I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Obviously, the point the movie is making relies on it being like a spectacle movie. Um, it's not hypocritical because it's highlighting the point of the movie. But the characters are just like kind of bland and boring and not that don't have that much agency, and we spend so much time on just like some stupid shit. Like, what was the point of the fucking kids jump scaring him in his fucking barn?
That I found that hilarious. Like I didn't realize that on my first watch that those were his kids fucking around with those like alien masks. Like
Yeah,
I will say like the first time like I've watched it, I did feel a little cheated because like they definitely are baiting like UFO and like alien invasion, and like I love the what if it's not a ship twist, but like that moment in particular is one of those like, oh fuck you, dude. Like that was kind of some eerie shit that it's like, ah, it's just some kids. It's like, come on, man. Like it's just some kids that's how you end that. It's like whatever. Okay.
it's just weird because like, what was the point? Oh, hey, you don't mess with Jupe's ranch, and then they run out. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like the resolution is just like she said, "Oh, they pulled a prank on us. Oh, it's on." And then OJ's like, "You stole their horse thingy, like it's horse statue." It's like, "Oh yeah." And then we cut. It's like, "Oh, okay."
And then
What was the point of that
and then
scene?
they
Literally,
just
if you cut out that scene, nothing about that movie changes. Nothing.
yeah. and then they just get eaten later, so
Yeah,
nothing really comes
nothing
of
comes
it.
of it. Yeah, it's what I'm saying because like the Jupe stuff feels so disconnected from the OJ stuff. It's fascinating.
It really is like two different stories. They're doing their
Yeah.
own thing, and it's just yeah. It all comes down to like how relatively early they're killed off and how much time they spend on them. I don't think it particularly overstays its welcome, but I do agree it doesn't like connect as well as some of the other stuff does.
Yeah. And then there's the entire thing, right? Of the fucking TMZ guy, which just makes me think this film is an
You
extended.
really
Yeah, this film feels like an extended
I
SNL sketch. It's
I
just so
thought that
stupid.
guy for I think he's just fucking hilarious, but I like I think this is relatively realistic. Like a bunch of disappearances in like one area, like you might think something weird like that and might get like people like that are reporters or like, tabloid people looking
I mean,
into it. I
sure, but you say realistic. The guy has every bone in his body broken, about to die, and he's
well,
like, "Get my camera! Did you get that on camera? Why do you not have a camera out?" Like, really?
that felt like that's another thing that I laughed at. Like the whole, I mean, they all but say it out loud. They have to film to get the shot on film. They can't shoot on digital. It's like because we're recording on digital cameras and he's using a film. It's like and like there's definitely like some message going on with like pulling out your phone when you see something like and taking a video. Like I feel like that's what like they're trying to go for with the TMZ guy, like being so obsessed with the camera even after like crashing his motorcycle. But it's a bit much. I
It,
agree with you
I feel
there.
like it's way too much. Like his entire like fucking chrome outfit, like fucking chrome helmet.
I don't know what the deal there is. That like why is that just like some unique helmet the guy bought? Like, because I remember them showing that in the trailer of like, huh, like I was thinking he was like a government agent or something,
No,
and
just
like
TMZ,
I but
dude. Just happened to
yeah,
find this stuff.
TMZ dude, and he just has a chrome helmet just cause. It's like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I did really did not like the TMZ guy. It's so because like it's that's like the TMZ guy is just like purely comedic. Like it feels like there's nothing about him that's serious at all. Even his death is comedic, and so it's like
Yeah. Except for the one part with like his screaming, but yeah, the actual execution
yeah.
of his death is definitely meant to
Well,
be
he's
like
like, oh
something
yeah,
kind of
get my
Looney
camera. Oh,
Tunes.
get your camera, whatever. Like even when he's about to die, it's so stupid. So it's like it feels like the entire movie is kind of like an SNL sketch, and that part just kind of proves it for me. Or just like, oh, see, the search for spectacle makes you look like this dude who is trying to get a camera out even right as he's about to die. Ooh, which like, okay, it's like the movie has something to say about spectacle, which I appreciate, but it does not have enough to say for a 2 hour and 10-minute movie. So it puts two stories in together, which loosely connect. But even then, it feels so stretched out, so stretched thin of just like, hey, spectacle for like 2 hours. It's just like, okay, I get the point. Like, say something new.
Yeah, there could definitely be like a little bit something more interesting if they'd trimmed it down and it had been like condensed a bit. I could see this movie being like about the runtime of Get Out or like maybe a
Yeah.
little longer. But yeah, 2 hours and 10 minutes is definitely pushing it a bit. And it does have some confusing messaging. I don't know. It's hilarious. I don't even think we necessarily disagree on too many of the key points. It's just that like really not your vibe and kind of my vibe.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, just
I
perfectly
I
fine. I don't know. I mean, it's there's nothing like too egregiously wrong. Like this movie isn't like us levels of like broken. Though there's some weird stuff with like Jean Jacket's like strength when it's sucking and shit. It's very inconsistent. It's
yeah, same with like what it can and cannot
yeah.
digest. Like there's some like questionability of like like I don't think it's like too bad on
Yeah.
honestly, but there are some
There's
elements where
some
you
weird
you
stuff.
wonder you're like
Yeah.
okay, there's a little stretch, but
Yeah, but it's
so
like the story itself is fairly simple, and I think it just like the plot itself, like it makes sense. but like that's so basic of like, okay, the actual themes of the story and everything I feel are muddled and stretched thin, and it's just like frustrating for me to watch. It's weird because I think this about so many stories nowadays. It's actually fascinating. I've said this. I think the first time I mentioned this in a video movie we've covered, it's been with the substance, but like so many movies that I just think could be great short films, but obviously they're not going to make them short films because they don't
Oh,
make
this,
money. It's just like imagine if this was a
yeah.
short film, it would be great, but they
The
can't.
Substance
It's
was a big one like that. I
yeah,
definitely felt that movie should have trimmed its runtime down.
yeah,
It's so indulgent and crazy with the close-up shots, but yeah.
yeah. It's like it uses this crazy premise, like there's material here to explore that crazy premise, but not enough for a full length movie. Let's make short film. In
Yeah.
Nope's case, two short films, one for Jupe and one for for OJ and the rest.
Well, again, a hilarious example of like maybe the Twilight Zone is kind of like what Jordan Peele would just nail, like if he did
Yeah,
Black Mirror or something to that degree, and it's just like,
that does
so
seem like
so
his
that
vibe.
so Get Out is probably your favorite of
Favorite,
it because
yeah,
this for me is my favorite of his stuff. Like I think something more along this line is like some what I think works for him because he's done really crazy premises. Like this is relatively simple for him, and I wish he'd do more stories like this with again like more of a campy blockbustery energy rather than like social commentary and like full like horror and it, I don't know. Something this has a different vibe from Us and Get Out, which definitely we're going more along the horror track. Like this is meant to kind of have a bit of a fun, optimistic vibe to it.
yeah.
And by the way, like the actual shot, like with Michael Abels' Urban Legends, like that song is fucking awesome when they just go full like cowboy, like Western mode. It's just,
Yeah.
I love that moment. It's great.
Oh yeah, the fucking dramatic version of Purple People Leader. That was something as well. That's another moment where I'm
That,
like, that's again a fucking SNL sketch.
I found it fucking hilarious just how like raspy that guy's voice and like how slow and monotone the execution was. I was like, Jesus, dude. Like if you actually know that song, it's like that's a cover, all right. Like I
It was so
busting out the guitar or something could have made it a little bit more like
it was so weird.
appealing to the ear.
It's so weird. It so we mentioned him, Mental Assault, and then reminded me of the cinematographer of this movie, Hoyte van Hoytema, who is phenomenal. Has done a lot
Yeah,
of work with Nolan and everyone. And honestly, the cinematography of this movie is phenomenal. I would say that it looks
yeah.
really
I
good.
watched it in IMAX, and I'm really glad the IMAX comes with the Blu-ray. Like the scenes are optimized. A lot of Blu-rays don't do that nowadays. It looks really good. This I'm pretty sure that's like the first time they worked together. I'm not sure who was the cinematographer before, but it is a really big and bold movie,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I mean, the shots of the I mentioned them to you, but the shots of the house with the blood rain just before and after
yeah,
the rain has stopped, both of them are such like Lars von Trier shots. I love them. I think they're beautiful. They're like haunting paintings. It's phenomenal. Genuinely,
yeah.
like
The
10 out of 10.
house like being crimson after that, and
Yeah,
like God,
it looks really good.
yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Huh.
I'm not a fan.
That's fair enough. I'm really curious what he's gonna do next because I like elements of all of his movies, but still, like, I don't necessarily like think I've been like wowed or like floored by what he's done. Like, even like Ryan Johnson, like I love Brick, and like that was his first project, and like Peel, I'm like, I feel like he just needs to. I feel like his great movies, like maybe one or two films away, like the movie that he really like finds his sweet spot, and I don't even know what that is, but I'm curious, like to see more of his stuff because this was like 2022. It surprised me. I'm like, man, this is 3 years ago. I was like, what the fuck? Time flies.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 years. Damn. Yeah. Yeah. It's he has a movie coming out next year apparently, which is in pre-production, but we don't know anything about it yet. So
We'll see about next year. There's so many movies that are like that. Like there's like no marketing. It's like this will be out in a year. It's like, will it? Like, okay.
I don't know. October 23rd, 2026. I mean, over a year from now. I think there's enough time to market it.
Yeah, and it is Jordan Peele. It'll probably be a relatively
Yeah.
limited budget, so probably not too expensive to shoot. Too long anyway to shoot it.
Yeah. Well, I think
Well,
this is it.
yeah, I guess you wouldn't recommend.
Yeah.
I would recommend this movie, but nope for you.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Oh my, oh my.
Yeah. Yeah. Jordan Peele is 1 for 3 for me. I don't know. Get Out's still good. You know.
Yeah, he's like 1.5 out of 3 for me because I still don't love Get Out, but like I said, I'm curious to see more. I will watch his movies, and he's proven himself an interesting filmmaker, just not always like coherent. Definitely puts theme and like social commentary above like the plotting and even character. Like are definitely arguably in this movie, just like kind of characters pushed aside for the spectacle of it all. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, it's my turn to recommend
Well,
something. Um.
yes, indeed.
All right. Well, Evan, here's a very important question. Are you able to go to a movie theater this week?
Should be, yeah.
Good. Okay. So I want us to cover Sinners because I love that movie.
Ah,
I loved that movie. I watched it
you
last Friday and it is phenomenal and I really want to talk about it.
nice. I'll see if I can see it in IMAX. I'm
I
pretty
don't know
sure
if it's
there's like so
still.
few.
I don't think it's still on IMAX theaters because Thunderbolts
Yeah,
came
well,
out.
Thunderbolts, New Avengers or whatever. Yeah, that usurped it. I think they're gonna try to bring it back. I don't know if I missed it in IMAX, like period. I'm like whatever. There were few theaters doing it anyway, but uh, I have heard nothing but good things. Like it seems like everyone just loves
Yeah,
that movie. It's like first since Top Gun Maverick, since I've just seen that, where it just seems like it just
everyone.
everyone is on
Yeah,
board and
word
like
of
yeah.
mouth has done wonders for that movie. Everyone loves it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it like the second weekend, I don't know like how its box office has been doing lately, but it like made damn near the same amount of
Oh, I'm
money
pretty sure the
that it
second
did
weekend
its
they actually
first
had an
weekend.
increase. It was insane.
Yeah, it's I'm just so used to like that first weekend being all right, and then just like
Boom,
it just
plummets. Yeah.
fades. That's why they're releasing everything on streaming. It's like they know
Yeah, they do
once
two
like they
weeks in
basically
theaters and then
flatline.
boom, theaters streaming. It's so.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love it when just a movie's just talked about, and the reason it's making money is because everyone's like, "Hey, have you seen Sinners? You
yeah,
gotta see it." Oh man, I can't wait. I
yeah.
I gotta watch that.
I'll try to rewatch it in theaters this weekend, as well as Thunderbolts. I do want to watch Thunderbolts on IMAX Saturday,
Oh,
probably. Everyone I know is saying it's good. Like people around our
well,
circles, who usually don't like Marvel, so I'm intrigued.
yeah, but I've seen so concretey and boring. Like I just and the new event. It's so funny that they're like marketing that and like movie's been out for like less than a week, and they're like
Oh yeah, here's
trying
the
to like
spoiler.
spin it as that. If you can call it that, yeah. Spoiler alert. I guess the Thunderbolts of the Avengers. What? Okay. You can let me know how that is. I'm still like out for Marvel. I don't know. I might be curious for Fantastic Four when that comes out. We'll see about that. But
Yeah, I mean, with Marvel, I'm at the point where like I'm only gonna watch it if enough people I know say it's good, instead of like actually wanting to see it opening weekend like I used to. Like I saw fucking Wakanda Forever opening weekend. Nowadays, I'm just like, nope, I will wait.
I was I was out by that point. I forget. I don't even think I watched Far From Home opening weekend. I still watched it in theaters, but yeah, by Wakanda Forever, I was like, yeah, I'll just wait for the Blu-ray, and then I stopped buying the Blu-rays, and it was just like, yeah. God. MCU is just Eternals. We really got to cover that at some point.
Yeah,
That'd be a
that's one
fun
that I'm.
one. It's just
That was one that I
it,
was going to recommend this time for us to watch because we've talked about covering it a few times. But I want to talk about Sinners because that movie has not left my mind since I watched it. So yeah, like Sinners has this oneer, right, that made me
I
transcend. I ascended towards a higher plane of being. You know what I mean?
I have heard of it. I know like it vaguely, and then it's funny too because like Coogler's known for that. You know, he did it like with Creed, and it got you know, Black Panther had one, and I think Wakanda Forever. It's like it's something that's like he's semi known for, but I've heard that movie has like one that just takes all the others to town.
It is insane. It's one of my favorite oneers ever. It's so cool. It's so cool. Ah, I'm so
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to rewatching it. All right, all right, all right. Well, folks, thank you for watching. I wouldn't recommend Nope, but you know Evan would, so do with that what you will. And yeah, we'll catch you next week for Sinners.
Catch you next week.
Bye bye.
Later.